Hi friends. Today we're going to be reading some stories about animals who are best friends. And these are real stories. This is a non-fiction book about animals who are really friends in real life. So this author, the author of this book, which is published by Scholastic, turns out I don't know who the author is, but it's a collection of stories published by Scholastic. And these authors are really teaching us about what it means to be a friend. They're telling us about animals, but they're also showing us how we can be friends with other people or with animals. So while we're reading, let's think about what we're learning about friendship, but also we're going to learn some facts about animals because this is nonfiction. So think about if you learn anything new about an animal that you like or that you're interested in. We'll try to keep track of the facts that we're learning. So this is called 5-Minute True Stories, Animal BFFs. BFF means best friend forever. So this is a long book. It's a collection of stories. We're not going to read them all. And it starts with a table of contents. So you can see all the different stories and then it shows you which page they're on. I'm going to start by reading you the introduction. An introduction tells you what the book is going to be about. This book has a lot of writing, so you might not always be able to see what I'm reading because I'm going to need to look at it, and I'll show you the picture while I'm reading. But on this one, you can look at the picture, and you might be able to read along with me while I read you the beginning. A tortoise and a kitten make for unlikely friends. Can you see them in the picture there? It really looks like a baby, that kitten. Tortoises often live outside in the wild, and kittens love cozying up inside. Tortoises have hard shells, and kittens have soft fur. Talk about opposites. In the animal world, though, friendships come in all shapes and sizes. There's a dog that swims with dolphins, and a monkey that gets a piggyback ride from a warthog. There is even a group of buddies that includes a lion, a tiger, and a bear. Oh my! All of these amazing animal stories are true. And there's nothing better than a true friend, no matter the species. So we know everything we're going to read today is true. It's nonfiction. The first story we're going to read is called Milo and Bone Digger. Take a look at that picture. What two animals are we going to be learning about in this story? That's right, it looks like a lion and a dog. So the writing is on this side, but I'm going to show you the picture while I read. Let's make sure you can see that. Bone Digger and Milo met each other when they were just a cub and a pup, and they became fast friends. As their friendship grew, so did the two pals, but one of them grew a lot bigger than the other. Bone Digger is a 500-pound lion, and Milo is an 11-pound dachshund. That's that kind of dog. What facts did we just learn about lions and dogs? We learned something about how big they are, and also we learned what they're called when they're babies. Think about what more facts you can learn while I read. The little dog and the huge cat live in the same pen together at a zoo in Oklahoma. That seems like it would be a scary sight, but Bone Digger would never hurt Milo. The animals lick each other, paw at each other, chase each other, and nibble at each other. It's all good fun. In this picture, you can see the lion when he was littler coming out of his playhouse. I'm going to show you this picture while I'm reading. Lions are known as the kings of the jungle, but sometimes Bone Digger gets startled when Milo barks. Who would have thought that a pet dog could hold his own against a fearless wildcat? Hold his own means he can stand up to him. Acts like he's just as strong as the lion. Their story might have been much different if they hadn't met each other when they were both so young. I wonder how they met each other. Let's keep reading to find out. Bone Digger was born with a disease which made it hard for him to walk. The zookeepers decided to keep the little lion cub separate from the other animals until he was healthy. The park manager brought him home for special care. That's where Bone Digger met Milo and the 3 other Dachshund pups he now calls friends. See if you can see that picture. Oh, what do you notice Bone Digger is doing? What do we know about cats when they use their tongues? What do they use their tongues for? Because a lion is just a big cat, just like my pet cats. Do you remember what cats use their tongues for? That's right, they use them to wash themselves. Let's see how I can show you this while I'm reading. I guess that's the best way. Because he was young and had trouble walking, the dogs weren't scared of Bone Digger. In fact, Milo and the other puppies tried to protect the lion cub even as he grew. It didn't take long before Milo and Bone Digger became best buds. They wrestled together and fought over toys, just like siblings do. As far as anyone can tell, Milo thinks Bone Digger is a really big dog. Or maybe Milo considers himself to be a lion? The 2 unlikely buddies share meals of raw meat and eat side by side without fighting. What fact did we just learn about dogs and lions? Think about what they eat. Should I read it again? The 2 unlikely buddies share meals of raw meat and eat side by side without fighting. Milo will even lick Bone Digger's teeth after a big meal. And those are some large teeth. I guess he's really not scared of that lion. Oh, there he is, licking his teeth. Milo sometimes tries to copy the puffing or loud roars of his lion friend. While Bone Digger's roar can be heard from almost a mile away, it's unlikely that the mini sausage dog will ever be able to make a noise that loud, whether it's a bark or a roar. Although being loud might not be Milo's goal, maybe he's just trying to learn the language of his lion friend. After all, it would be hard to speak a different language from your best friend. It seems like they can still communicate with each other, huh? Even if they don't speak the same language. These are the last 2 pages of the story. While I'm reading, I want you to think about what are some facts you learned about dogs and about lions. Bone Digger is healthy now, and he and his canine pals, canine is another word for dog, live happily together at the zoo. It might be unusual to see dogs at a zoo, but there is no way the zookeepers can break up these best friends. They're inseparable. That means they always want to be together. They sleep together every night. The Dachshunds like lying on top of Bone Digger, like he's a giant pillow. Whenever the dogs do separate from their lion friend, they are sure to check in with him immediately when they return. It's like Bone Digger is keeping count and making sure everyone is safe. So while Milo was the first to protect Bone Digger, the lion is now watching over his doggy pal. That's what friends are for. So think for a minute, what did you learn about lions and dogs in this story? And if somebody's watching with you, you can tell them. Or you can pause and tell me right now, what are some things you learned that you didn't know before about lions and dogs? So tomorrow, no, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do math. But on Thursday, I'm going to read you the story of Gerald and Eddie. What kind of animals are they? There's one. And there's the other one. And if we have time, maybe we'll even read another story from this book. Tell me if you like it. So I have some other things for you to do today. The first one is look down below the video in the description, and you're going to find 2 links there today. The links are to videos from our friends at Project Commotion. So you remember Miss Annie and Miss Carol, who used to come to our class to do Project Commotion with us. The first video is them showing us some movements that you can do at home. So you can have your own Project Commotion class in your house. That video is in English and Spanish. So if you're listening to it in Spanish and you don't understand at first, it's okay. Just keep listening and they'll say it again in Spanish. In English. Anyway, it's in both of them. It's a little hard to hear the sound in that video, but just stick with it and you'll see what they're doing. If you like it and you'd like to do more Project Commotion, there's a second video which is taught by a teacher named Panda. Maybe you met her before too. And she's going to teach you something called capoeira, which is another way to move your body. So if you're looking for some fun ways to move your body today, check out the videos down there. When you're done, I have a big assignment for you on Seesaw today, and I hope you're going to like it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before you go on there. So when you get to Seesaw, you're going to go to where it says Activities, and you're going to find a new activity. It's called Writing About Animals, something like that. The first thing you're going to do in that activity is follow a link to a website called Tumble Books. You might have seen it before because I sent you the link a few weeks ago. On Tumble Books, you're going to have to log in. Log in is when you put in a name and you put in a password. I wrote the name and the password in Seesaw so you can find them, but I'm going to tell you right now. The name is SFUSD. That's the name of our schools. And the password is login, Login. It's written there in Seesaw, so just look at it, write it down, go to the website, and you'll find them. On that website, there are a lot of books that you can read. I want you to click where it says nonfiction, because we're talking about nonfiction today. Nonfiction, and then you're going to look for a book about animals. You'll see it right there. It says animals. So click where it says animals. Find a book about animals that you want to read. You can read it by yourself or you can listen to the book. When you're finished, go back to Seesaw and you're going to see what looks like a piece of paper for you to write on. Click on the assignment. You'll see the piece of paper and I want you to practice using the writing keys to write about what you learned. You're going to write one sentence about an animal. You might write, I learned that bears hibernate in the winter. Or you might write that I learned that lion babies are called cubs. When you're finished, click the green arrow so that I can see your work and all your classmates can see your work too and learn something new about animals. Okay, just like always, if this is too complicated, ask a grown-up from your family to send me a message and I'll help them. I know this one is going to be a little tricky, but I want to see what you can do with it because I think it'll be fun. All right, friends, I'll see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we will be talking about math, and we'll get to do a little bit of math practice together. Bye.